Al-Mufaddal once spoke, recounting a question that arose within him as he sat before his master. He said, "I asked, what is the sign of the first transformation and the second, and what distinguishes one from the other?" His master answered with calm certainty, explaining that the sign lies in what is made permissible and what is forbidden. Everything that is unlawful to slaughter and consume is haram, just as it had been in ages long before their time and even before their Adam. This answer stirred a deeper curiosity within Al-Mufaddal, and he asked, was there an Adam before the 7 Adams? Was there an earth and a heaven before the ones we now know? His master replied, calling him gently to awareness, saying that Allah has always been and never ceases to be. Each time a new earth is brought forth, a creation unlike the one before it is made. He pointed to the phenomenon of transformation mask and asked him to reflect on what he saw among its forms. They appeared distorted, beast-like, altered from what they once were. This change, he explained, was not without cause. These beings had been transformed from their original forms as a result of punishment in a previous age. Because of this, they were made forbidden to slaughter and eat. In that earlier time, they had been both punished and consumed, and so their altered forms carried the mark of that consequence. He continued, explaining that what is made permissible for a people to eat is connected to their own actions, even their sins, while what is not born of their condition remains forbidden to them. In the same way, a person cannot offer to Allah that which is forbidden for consumption, but may offer that which is lawful, for it is tied to their own state and existence. Thus, what is lawful becomes permitted not only for sustenance, but for sacrifice and use, as it emerges from the human condition itself. Then he recited a truth that anchors all accountability: no soul bears the burden of another. Al-Mufaddal reflected on this and observed that those things forbidden to eat seemed to be those upon which tribulation had already fallen in ages past. His master affirmed this, pointing to creatures of land and sea, beasts, predators, and others that were prohibited for consumption or sacrifice. These, he explained, were among those who had been punished in a former age and had since been spared further suffering through slaughter. From there, the discussion returned to a greater and more expansive vision, the cycles of creation and the succession of Adams. Al-Mufaddal asked what becomes of these cycles, and his master answered by reciting that Allah separates the impure from the good, gathering the impure together before casting it away, while granting those who turned back a chance for forgiveness. What had occurred to the ancients, he explained, had already passed, referring to the transformations and incarnations that marked earlier ages. He then described the span of each Adam's time upon the earth as lasting 7,000 years, a period in which the believer is gradually refined and purified until reaching completion. In that state, the believer transcends, while Iblis and his followers remain bound to curse and transformation. When this stage is fulfilled, the believers are returned once more, passing through further cycles for 1,000 years, just as those before them had done, until they attain their place in higher realms. This process repeats across the cycles of creation, across the people of each Adam, unfolding in patterns that mirror one another. It continues until the final cycle, when the first Adam returns in the end of times, marking the completion of these ages. Thus there are 7 heavens, 7 earths, and cycles likened to nights and days. The night becomes a covering as forms are worn within it, while the day signifies return to their stations in the heavens. In the end, when purification is complete and the journey fulfilled, they enter into a life prepared for them, shaped by their own deeds, a life of peace, completion, and abiding existence. And with that, the narration closes in stillness and peace.